Jujutsu Kaisen has undoubtedly become a major big figure in the anime industry, not only bringing in a new wave of anime fans but also bringing in a new era for animation in general. With its insane cinematography through its jaw-dropping animated sequence, you can't deny that it has set a new tone for the anime industry. Animation isn't the only thing Jujutsu Kaisen is great at, because Jujutsu Kaisen knows how to perfectly set up a plot twist. In order to prove my point, I'll be using these three core elements, starting with number 1, setting up the expectations. A prime way shows tend to do in order to execute a plot twist is setting up the expectation, whether it's the overpowered Emperor of the Sea in One Piece or Yuha from Bleach. Setting up the expectations is important in order to keep the story more grounded. An example of this execution is at the start of the episode, where we see a small montage of everyone being interviewed about Gojo Satoru. There's one common fact nobody can deny, which is Gojo is strong.
大丈夫。僕最強だから。
And we get to see this in full action, fighting Hanami, Jogo and Choso without needing any help. Gojo is perfectly in the win, as we constantly see him beat them up with ease, such as killing Hanami without using any of his curses techniques, or fighting Jogo in a one-on-one battle using pure strength alone. Perfectly setting up the expectations of Gojo is the strongest sorcerer in modern times and giving us the execution. When I say Gojo is strong, he is on a whole new level of strength. That's why the episode perfectly executed it by showcasing his skills, by introducing a new set of challenges in his way. If having Gojo limited to not using his powers doesn't seem like a hard challenge enough, this motherfucker decided to pull up with a train full of transfigured humans, roughly around 1,000 to the scene, and attacking those innocents in the same time, pushing Gojo to its absolute limit, forcing him to use domain expansion, something no one would assume he would use, to deal with fighting all 1,000 transfigured humans without pulling a single curse technique, all in 299 seconds. By this point, we, the audience, are pretty confident to say that Gojo will win no matter what bigger or more powerful threats come along, but sadly this was all a false hope.
君は五条悟だから最強なのか。もし私が君になれるのなら、この馬鹿げた理想も地に足がつくと思わないか。
After taking down all 1,000 transfigured humans, we thought the invincible Gojo would win no matter how strong the enemies were. But we never accounted if the enemies was a dearest friend of him.
Yeah. Satoru.
Throughout the entire episode, we know Geto would pull in with his mastermind plan, but instead of testing Gojo's abilities, he tested with his mentality, as Geto himself was once a dearest friend of Gojo. We, the audience, will assume the almighty Gojo would somehow escape, but sadly he doesn't, which led him to one of the most impactful and powerful exchanges by Geto and Gojo themselves.
肉体も呪力もこの目に映る情報はお前をゲトウスグルだと言っている。だが俺の魂がそれを否定してんだよ。さっさと答えろ。お前は誰だ。 なんでわかる。
In the end, resulting in Gojo's defeat. This is why this episode was a perfect example to how a plot twist works, setting up the expectation, the execution of the expectation, which in the end all led to a false hope for the fans. Of course, Jujutsu Kaisen can never top the biggest revelations, but this episode is perfectly how a plot twist should be executed. A plot twist doesn't have to revolve around the unexpected turns of events, instead it should revolve around the setup, and that is why Jujutsu Kaisen knows how to perfectly set up a plot twist.